Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Sam here from the TNR channel, and today, like I did with the Legends of Tomorrow Season 1, I am going to be today reviewing, as the title may suggest, Flash Season 2 review. Alright, now if you didn't watch my Legends of Tomorrow Season 1 review and synopsis, I will leave a link to it in the description, and you can go watch it from there. But today I'm going to be doing the Flash. But guys, I also thought, the seasons for The Flash and Arrow are nearly double the size of, well, they're not nearly double, but there is a lot more episodes in The Flash and Arrow than there is in Legends of Tomorrow. There's like nearly about 8 more, something around that. So I'm not going to be doing the plot synopsis like I did it on Legends of Tomorrow, as the video would be nearly 40 minutes long, and nobody wants to watch a review that's 40 minutes long, so I decided to trim it down a bit. And so what I'm going to be doing is this: I'm just going to be going over key points through the story, giving a plot synopsis, but only the key points that matter to the season. So yeah guys, let's go. So the main plot overview for the season 2 of The Flash is that after the events of Season 1, Barry feels really guilty over the deaths of Eddie and Ronnie, so he decides to carry it on his own. He decides to be the Flash on his own, but then obviously his friends don't stand for that, and after a guy called Atom Smasher comes in and he starts talking about this mysterious man called Zoom, Barry's not very... he basically gets his ass kicked, and then he decides that he needs his friends to do what he does as they complete the team. So, meanwhile in these events, a mysterious man called Jay Garrick, who claims to be the Flash of Earth 2, which is the multiverse theory that I sort of referenced in the Legends of Tomorrow video. But he claims to be the Flash from Earth 2, and then it takes Barry a long time, but he eventually trusts him in the end. Alright. Zoom is the main villain of Season 2, and him and Barry have a fight around about, I think it's episode 6, and Zoom completely annihilates Barry. Barry is no match for Zoom. Zoom he is the god. Zoom is just an unmatched demon, as Jay Garrick describes him in the second episode. Zoom is all over the place. He destroys Barry. And then Barry realizes he needs to get faster in order to be Zoom. So this causes Barry to do whatever he needs to be faster than Zoom. He tries to train more. He gets in mentors like Harrison Wells of Earth 2. He gets in mentors. He gets people to help him. He just gets a lot of people on his side, and he trains to be the fastest man alive. So what ends up happening is they all train on Earth 1. And then Zoom tells Wells that if he does not if he doesn't agree to take all of Barry's speed, he will kill his Harrison Wells' kidnapped daughter that he kidnapped before the events of Season 2 on Earth 2. So yeah, he brings Harrison Wells to a very difficult ultimatum, whether to betray Team Flash or to save his daughter. He obviously ends up saving his daughter, and he managed to harvest 2% of Barry's overall speed. He gives it to Zoom. Zoom claims it's not enough, and then after an accident with Iris with Wally West, who was introduced in episode 10, after a brief encounter with Iris and she got hurt, Wells admits that he is the one that stole Barry's speed. Now this leads to Joe getting very angry, but then Barry took some sense into him, saying, "What would you do if it was your daughter in this position?" Basically guilt trips him into letting Harrison Wells go, and then they travel to Earth 2 to try to save Jessie Quick, who is Harrison Wells' daughter. Now they go to Earth 2, and things do not go as well as they planned. They thought they were just going to go in, rescue Jessie, and then get straight back to Earth 1, close the breaches for good. But this is not how it goes down. Zoom ends up capturing Barry at the end of episode 13, and then through episode 14, Barry and Jessie meet the man in the metal mask. who tries to help them escape. He's not very, how do I say this? He's not very helpful towards the two, but they do end up escaping, leaving the man in the metal mask behind. But yeah, that's basically how it goes. And then when they arrive back at Earth 1, Zoom kills Jay Garrick and pulls him through the breach before it closes, and then all of the breaches are closed forever. Barry is absolutely enraged at this point. Caitlin is heartbroken as they start to merge together into a relationship throughout season 2. Caitlin is heartbroken, Wells is shocked, the rest of the Team Flash is shocked, and Barry is just angry. He is absolutely outraged with anger. He hates Zoom, he wants Zoom dead, he will stop at nothing to open the breaches and rescue Jay and avenge Jay. He will stop at nothing. So this leads Barry to go down a really dark path. He even contemplates taking the Velocity 9, which gives speedsters plenty of speed. It gives them an extra boost. It makes them faster, a lot faster, but also kills them at the same time. It's quite a complicated situation, but I think I'll make a separate video on a later date about the Velocity 6, 7, 8 and 9. So yeah, that's basically what Velocity 9 does. Gives you speed but kills you at the same time. So in episode 16, Barry also runs into Trajectory, who took the Velocity 9. She's a lady speedster, the first one. And yeah, but that's basically what happens. She ends up becoming one with the Speed Force. She actually turns into pure energy of the Speed Force. And then at the end of episode 15, once Jay is killed, it is revealed that it's actually revealed that Zoom is Jay, or well, not Jay, Hunter Zolomon, which I will describe later. But yeah, Trajectory dies, and yeah, they realize the whole Team Flash realizes then that Zoom is after Barry's speed because he's dying of the same thing that killed Trajectory. So Barry at this point is enraged, and Cisco vibes Zoom, and he finds out that Zoom is what they suppose is Jay Garrick at this point. This leads to Barry actually going back in time to the events of Season 1 near Episode 12 with Hartley Rathaway, aka the Pied Piper. It goes back to the events of Season 1, and him and Harrison Wells' Bob Thorne, the Reverse Flash. Reverse Flash actually makes him, knocks him out, and they actually have a conversation, and then the two rivals actually work together to get Barry's speed back and stop Zoom once and for all. Well, so Barry gets the speed. Barry gets the key to unlocking more of his speed, which is a tachyon enhancer. Tachyons basically are the cells that give the speedsters their speed, you could say. And with a tachyon enhancer, it enhances all the tachyons around a speedster's body, giving them that ultimate boost. It's basically a non-lethal Velocity 9, and it makes Barry as fast as Zoom. So now Barry realizes he's as fast as Zoom. He opens the breach with Cisco's help, and then it didn't go to plan. Like previous events in the series, it doesn't go to plan. The plan is get Zoom here, just beat him up, lock him up, kill him. I don't know what Barry planned to do, but it was just to stop him once and for all. But this isn't, of course, what not happens, right? He manages to capture Zoom, but his humanity gets the best of him, and he ends up hesitating on the kill with Zoom, and Zoom escapes, and he kidnaps Wally West, who I mentioned before. So Barry is now forced with an ultimatum whether to give up his speed for Wally or let Wally die and keep his speed. Barry, with his humanity, obviously gives Zoom his speed. Zoom kidnaps Caitlin, and Team Flash falls apart. Episode 219, Back to Normal, that's just a completely wasted episode. Harrison just gets kidnapped. It's just a complete downfall for the Team Flash, and they go from being 100 steps ahead of Zoom to being 100 steps behind him. They absolutely get destroyed by Zoom. Zoom forms an army of metahumans from Earth 2, and when Barry tries to get his speed back, but in doing so, he actually becomes one with the Speed Force, and he actually has to capture himself in the Speed Force. He actually has to go through a load of trials, speak to a load of passages of his former self, like his mother, his Joe, his dad, anybody, Iris, just anybody that's key to him in his life. The Speed Force helps him, and he eventually comes out of the Speed Force with his powers. And that leads to the siege on Central City. Zoom and his followers just lead siege on Central City, and eventually they're stopped by Barry, who it's a sort of vibration machine that sends shockwaves up and down. Barry has to run around Central City at his speed, so the vibrations will not escape. So basically the vibrations bounce off Barry, and it affects everybody on Earth 2. So anybody that vibrates at the same frequency as Earth 2 beings get affected by this and get knocked out by the blaring noise. This is the downfall of Zoom's army. Now, Zoom's army is destroyed by this. All of Zoom's army is captured, but Zoom manages, because of how fast he's vibrating now, because of the extra vibrations, he's managed to actually punch a hole into Earth 2, and he can escape. So Zoom escapes, and his army is broken, and then Team Flash come back to being ahead, or so we think. Now, once they all celebrate, Zoom actually kidnaps Henry Allen, Barry's dad, who he goes and gets back earlier in the episode to Central City. Now, they say Jay Garrick is Zoom, and then Henry goes, "Oh, my mother's maiden name was Garrick," which basically gives away the Man in the Metal Mask, which I will go on to in a little bit. But Zoom's army is broken, and Zoom comes back, kidnaps Henry, and then Barry chases him. Now, this leads to Barry and Zoom being at Barry's place where his mum died, so his old home. Zoom punches a hole through Henry and kills him immediately. Now the finale. The finale was an amazing episode. There is so much happened, right? So, at the start of the episode, Zoom challenges Barry to a race to see who was the fastest speedster alive. This is obviously manipulation for Zoom's grander plan, which is to destroy the Earth. Now, Zoom's plan is to run around the speed engine, which basically sends off a pulse shockwave, which can, if triggered correctly with all the enough gigahertz of energy, it can destroy all of the Earths. Now, if Barry wins, he can prevent it from happening, and he can win the race. If Zoom wins, however, the Earths will be destroyed. Now, as we seen earlier in the finale, when Barry is enraged at Zoom, we see that, how do I put this? We see that Barry creates a time revenant, and who manages to counteract the effects of the pulse, and eventually sets off a reverse pulse, which counteracts it, and it doesn't end up happening. An enraged Zoom tries to beat Barry, but because Barry's got the upper hand, Barry manages to beat Zoom. He tears off a bit of his mask and then leaves Zoom. Barry is about to kill him, and then his humanity pulls him away from it, and he tells Zoom he physically can't kill him because it goes against any rules of humanity and it defies any rule of him that it's ever been. So, Barry realises he doesn't have to do this. His time race pull down from the sky and grab Jay Garrick, or Hunter Zolomon. Right, so, as I have mentioned in my Black Flash series review, this is where Zoom turns into the Black Flash. The time race completely deforms Zoom, turn him into the Black Flash, carry him away through the time portal, and he is gone forever. So, all of the Team Flash celebrate knowing that Zoom's dead. He's gone. He's gone. Everybody's gone. His army's fallen. Zoom's dead. Everybody's just happy. Barry and Iris finally kiss, which is what fans of the show... I'm not really that bothered about any love stories with shows, but the fans of the show really wanted Barry and Iris to be a thing, and it happens at the finale of season 2. But just as you think so as well, Barry runs back in time and... how do I put this? Barry runs back in time and... prevents his mother from being murdered. He runs back in time, punches the Reverse Flash off his mother, and saves his mother's life. So, this is obviously Flashpoint Paradox. If you're a big fan of DC Comics like I am, you'll know what Flashpoint Paradox is. It's basically an alternate timeline where Barry saves his mum and everything's different. It affects Barry obviously being the Flash, as he does not have his speed. Like, all of the events do not occur. And it's just, there's so many things you can do about that. But I will leave Season 3 and Flashpoint Paradox series to another video. For now, though, the review. Right. I think Season 2 was incredible. My favourite season of the CW this year. It miles beat Arrow Season 4. And it just pipped Legends of Tomorrow Season 1 to the post. Oh, it was such a good season. It was well structured. Hopefully, I hope they don't ruin Season 3 like Arrow did. Like, Arrow Season 1 and 2 were incredible. I thought Season 3 was good, and Season 4 was good as well, but not as good as the other two. It kind of downfalled a bit. But I hope they don't ruin it. But anyway, Season 2 was incredible. Right, first you had all the heroes. It started off as a rough start for Barry. Barry was all alone, and then he had all of his friends. The villain, right, I absolutely love Zoom. Zoom was just one badass guy, alright. He managed to... He's just amazing. He's just actually one of the best Flash villains I've ever seen. And he's not even a real comic book one. Hunter Zolomon is, but Zoom, the actual Zoom character you see in the show, with his outfit, is not real in the comics. Like, CW completely just destroyed the character, and they made him so well. They absolutely just knocked it out of the park with Zoom. Zoom's, like... He's on one of those levels. He's on like the same level as Darkseid for like for the threat that he poses to Team Flash. Because Team Flash have had a proper, real hard time dealing with Zoom throughout this whole season. They eventually beat him, but they had a real hard time. He took multiple lives. He took the lives of Barry's dad. He made everybody's life a misery. He completely betrayed Team Flash. He was willing to kill Caitlin in the season finale as well. He's just a complete monster, and that just makes him such a great villain for the Flash. Next, you've got the actors. The actors completely collabed in this series, right? The way the actors merged together, it actually felt like with Teddy Sears as Hunter Zolomon and Grant Gustin as the Flash, you could actually feel a real hatred between the two characters. You could it actually felt like what they were doing was not acting. It felt like a real hate between the two characters. Like how enraged Barry acted around Zoom. It was just, it was so perfectly done. The whole season was just perfectly done. And personally, I think it's one of the best CW seasons I've ever seen, apart from maybe Arrow Season 1 maybe, but guys, it was just such a good season, and I hope Flash Season 3 beats it. I hope they don't downfall a bit like they did with Arrow, but I absolutely adored Season 2, and I hope Season 3 with the Flashpoint Paradox can keep this up. But anyway guys, that was my review for The Flash Season 2. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not give us a thumbs up or maybe even subscribe? That would be a real help. So yeah guys, thank you for watching this episode from TNR, and I will hope you will join back next time for another episode. See you later guys.